I am very delighted to have this opportunity to share some updates from Nigeria. But I think if what happened yesterday had happened a day before or earlier, maybe I wouldn't have been here. Because I am standing here while my state, my community is boiling. On Thursday the 17th, I'm just trying to give this as the background of my presentation. How our society, community in Nigeria are. In a village market, where these local people that push, maybe when you buy something they take for you in the market, they had a disagreement that this one, and all of them are Hausas, are Muslims, that the other one pushed his colleague, and the colleague said, "Why did you push me?" He said, "Yes, I pushed you. What will you do?" They started arguing, and then carrying sticks against each other. Somebody just ran out there and said, religious crisis, religious crisis. In that market, over 100 people were killed. Over 100 people were killed on Thursday. Friday, there was a mass burial for those people that were killed. On that same Friday, the paramount chief of the entire two local governments went to see the governor to complain, came back and attended a sent forth for a lady that was to be wedded. On his way back, he was stopped. All his security and his bodyguard, you know, the traditional rulers, they have people that work with them. 5 of them were killed. And his car was marched. And the paramount leader was adopted with his wife and the driver. I just got the information this morning that yesterday they released the wife, but the husband and the driver, no information yet. And yesterday when I just landed in Addis, I just connected with the internet. I now got so many information. Where are you? Everything is boiling. And currently as we speak, in Kaduna State, we are in a 24 hours curfew since yesterday. Because even this morning when I communicated, there's a lady that will update me of the situation of things. But really things were very bad. So nobody can tell how many people were even killed yesterday. And that is why I say, because I'm from Kaduna State, and that is my local government, that is my community, and everybody I know that I am close to is there. So you can see that if this thing had happened, it would have been difficult for me to start coming. Because I will have to be there to make some contact. I will have to be there to make whatever thing I can do to see that the families and other people around there to foster peace. That's to tell us that the situation in Nigeria is very fragile, that we live under suspicious, we live under distrust, and that when you see two people together, there is no trust. And even if you are in the same vehicle, there is no trust. It will help us to know that what the common people talk about Nigeria. Nigeria before 2019, 14 and 1916, before amalgamation and before independence. Nigerian communities were living on community basis. And every community had their structure of leadership. And nobody was interfering with their own system. But when the colonial master came, especially in the north, we've been having some communal crisis. But like my tribe, but you were known as hunters. And in all the community clashes, no community has ever had victory over my own tribe, because they were known as hunters. But when the masters or the colonial masters came, they used the gun to force all the people from the north under a structure, a system of government that is alien to them, that they don't know. So they were forced to pay loyalty to things they do not understand. Unlike the South, if you go to the South, that is why today we don't have much problems in the South, apart from really people that are struggling for their own right. But in the North, you cannot understand what really is happening. The northern part of Nigeria, Nigeria is made up of 200 million people over, and with over 250 different ethnic, tribal or cultural tribes that have some similarities and differences. We were known as Nigerian having a lot of some issues between Fulanis and farmers. I was a farmer in the village, but this is not the problem we're having. In those days when you farm, and the Fulani man maybe encroach in your farm, you have some agreement, you now take yourself to the local chief, who will now settle, okay, give him 2 naira. Okay, that is fine. And you continue living together. And that was the situation we are living in, especially in the north of Nigeria where this challenge is. But when Nigeria returned to civil rule, political rule, democratic rule, in 1999, things changes. So many things changes. A lot of issues. And the change has been because it is difficult for you to differentiate between politics and religion in Nigeria. We seem to be so religious. Somebody mentioned here that when they are swearing their leaders, they swear with the Bible and the Quran. To us in Nigeria, that is not an issue now, because that is what we've been doing. But as if they just hold the Bible just to pretend. But from the inside of the political heart, they don't mean what they are saying. Issues arise as issues relating to interreligious and intercultural conflicts in Nigeria between 1999 to 2002, when we now got into this dreaded Boko Haram issue that started in 2002. Boko Haram started as a result of the failure of the state, because their focus was they needed Islamic State. If the state has done what it's supposed to do, was somebody caught up to say they need Islamic State? No, because they didn't see, because almost 80% of people who rule Nigeria from the time of independence to that 2002 were from the north and Muslims. And all these problems are coming from the north, from the Muslims. Then who or what were those leaders doing when they were ruling the country from military rules, civilian rules, everybody from the north? But they did not develop the north. Educationally, the northern part is backward. It will interest you to know that one person in the north can have 80 children. How can you cater for 80 children? Somebody can have 100 children. How can you cater for 100 children? He can have some of my age can have 50 children. How can you cater for them? And most of these children, once they are there, they fend for themselves, they beg to eat, they beg to survive. Some of them grew in an environment that they have never tasted parental love. They have never slept in a good bed. They have never sat down and eat good food. So what do you think will happen to these children when somebody offers them just a meal, just food to eat today? They will really escalate. And the Boko Haram activities first started as focusing on the Christians, which really drew a lot of sympathizers among the Muslim communities, where they have killed a lot of people, tens and thousands of people were killed. But today, the issue of Boko Haram, from 2015, before the new government, that is this current president came on board, almost half, more than 80% of the local government in Adamawa, Borno State, were being taken over by Boko Haram, man the leadership of Boko Haram. But when this president government came, they have succeeded in retrieving all those areas. And they are even sounding that they have succeeded in defeating Boko Haram. But I want to say, they have not succeeded in defeating Boko Haram. The only thing, Boko Haram has changed tactics of their operation. Then we're having Boko Haram, today we have the Fulani herdsmen. It's the same language. Because we live with the herdsmen, we mingle with them, we have good relationship with them. But the Boko Haram we have today, that is the Fulani herdsmen, are not the Fulani herdsmen we used to know. Let me state here that to the international community, we do not accept the fact that there is crisis between herdsmen and Fulani herdsmen and farmers. No, it's not conflict. What do you understand by conflict? In a situation you are sleeping in the night, you don't know me, I don't know you. We never had any disagreement. You just come over and surround my house and then killed me, burn everything. No conflict. Is there any conflict? It's not conflict. It's an organized and a planned attack. This is what we can say, criminal activities. So we always disagree with our government. When they go out there to the international community, say there is crisis between Fulani herdsmen and farmers. No. Because if we have crisis or if we have disagreement, I will know that something may likely come up. But the situation you are sleeping, that is what is happening. You don't have any disagreement with them. Also, the Fulani herdsmen today have taken over a lot of, because when you begin to ask of these questions, where do they get the ammunition? Sometimes they override the government, that is the military, because they have sophisticated arms. Sometimes our military ran out of ammunition. But these people, since 2002, they have never. They don't have banks. They always have money. They don't have a different market. How do they get food to eat? So there are so many questions when you begin to ask, you will end up by saying that they have a very strong force supporting them within and outside the country. Even the body language of the government is not even clear. Because if you look at what the government said and what the government does, it contradicts what they say. And the issue, there are some information we received, these are not, we didn't even cost, even if you consider you can't get it, of transporting ammunition from government sources to these people, which fell in the hands of the wrong people that did not intend it to. And now the issue turned up. Where does the ammunition come from? Who is supporting these activities? The church and the Muslim community, we still have Muslims that are committed to peace. And the church is also working. Somebody said we should be talking. In Nigeria, we are talking that some even I say we talk too much. Because there is no way today they kill your people, tomorrow mass burial, next tomorrow mass burial. How will you not talk? How will you not complain? How will you not call on the government to do something? It appears the government, not only Nigeria, but in Africa, listening to the international community, the European nations, more than their own people. And that is why when they sign all the agreements, whenever they're having a meeting, they package the report in such a way that even if the devil is giving the report, he will pass them. But the fact is that it's not what is on ground. And the people that are on ground find it difficult to make their voice heard. And even when the church and even some of the Muslims voice out to listen to them, they politicize everything. Now elections is coming. The church and the Muslim community on the 12th and 13th of this month, we had an international, that is a national conference on religious harmony toward 2019 general elections. And that conference was well attended to. We did that deliberately to bring these political people and then take our position to them. Thank God the President of the Federal Republic was there, former President Dr. Yakubu Gowon was there, former President Dr. Abdulsalam Abubakar was there, and so other service chiefs and others. Religious community openly spoke truth to them and called on them. All these people that we are saying Fulani herdsmen, any herdsman that is found with a sophisticated weapon should be tagged as a terrorist, as a criminal. Because Fulani herdsmen are known with their sticks. That is what they use to take care of their cows and cattle. But today, if they are Fulani herdsmen, our understanding, and I'm believing on that, is that most of the challenges we're having are not fully, completely, 100% perpetrated by the Fulanis we know. Because we still live with the Fulani, some of the Fulanis we know. But we can still have the bad ones among them that will pave the way for the external ones to come. Because the Fulani we know did not even go to school, or they hardly arrive. Some of them in the villages cannot, but how will they manage to operate these guns. That even the military, they have to train them and retrain them and retrain them when they bring new guns or new sophisticated guns. But who is training these people? Why are they being trained? Yet they man these guns. Even they can face the military that were trained for 10 years, 20 years. And sometimes they run because they overpower them. Then what is happening? I think there is something that is happening in Nigeria that is not well said. There is something that is happening that is not well said. But we believe that we'll get there with the help of God. Our challenges today, mostly in Nigeria, is lack of this, that is employment. There is no employment for the youth. And even those who are employed. Will you believe a country that workers spend 10 months without salary? 10 months. Somebody is working with his family, with his children, no salary. And sometimes when some government will say, okay, we don't have money, then they give them maybe 10% of your salary in a month. And the salary is how much? The minimum wage is 18,000. And a bag of rice is almost 20,000. A bag of rice. But the minimum wage, 18,000. What would that do with your children? With your family, you pay for rent, you pay for transportation. So these are the challenges we have. We also need lack of trust. There is lack of trust in the country. And we are working toward building trust. Because without trust, we cannot work together. The Bible said, unless two agree, they cannot work together. And also another issue we have observed in our country is the issue of it's all in Africa, poor leadership, bad leadership. A good leader must be able to manage the economy, manage everything. Because we have diversity in Nigeria. That diversity would have been a blessing. It's just the same thing. When you are blessed, if you don't manage the blessing well, it will result in a problem. But if you manage your blessing well, it will give way to success and progress, even in your family, and the same thing in the country. We also understand that in our country, the issue of giving preference to one religion above the other. If you look at it in the South, we don't have most challenges. But in the North, even people from the South, we have some of them that are here. Till today, they don't believe there are Christians in the North. They still don't believe there are Christians in the North. I remember when I assumed the position of Grand Secretary, some came to my office. I mean, somebody from the North, do we have Christians in the North? Sometimes if you attend meeting in the South with our vehicle written from Kaduna, from Sokoto, from Kano, they will come, are you a Christian? Do we have Christians there? Because they still don't believe that we have Christians in the North. So majority, everything, when we hear of the North, people say even in the South, they say the North has taken over everything. But when we say the North, we have the North, we have the Northerners. One former leader in the 60s said, that we are all Northerners, but everybody knows his father's house. We are all Northerners, but everybody knows his father's house. That is what is happening. If you look at some of our sisters are here, can testify to that. Every appointment they said, not. It just has to be in one extraction. Not everybody is inclusive. Like some of us minority in the North, they don't consider us in terms of appointment. There are some local governments, some states today. Once you bear the name determines what you get. Whether you are qualified, whether you merit it or not, but your name qualified or decide what you get. Your name disqualified you, no matter how qualified you are. This is the situation. And we look at the appointment. All the service chiefs in this regime are from the Muslim extraction and from the North. All the service chiefs. We have been to the presidency more than 4 times with these statistics. I remember the last time we were there with the current president. The president promised that he was going to look into it. Until today, nothing has happened. We know the 2019 election is also boiling, but we are taking steps to ensure that we have a peaceful, free, and fair election. Let me also thank our ecumenical partners, the National Council of Churches, the AACC, the WCC. In our distress, in our challenges, they have never abandoned us. Many a times we receive letters. The issue that is happening, because Boko Haram is no longer detonating bombs, people feel the situation is coming in Nigeria. But I want to tell you that the killings now is more than the Boko Haram. Boko Haram bomb explosions sometimes destroy properties, buildings. But you will discover that maybe 5 people, 10 people are killed. But now they can even go, like the one I said on Friday. It's on the record. The media said 55. So in Nigeria, if the media said 55, that is the government-approved media said 55. If they say 55, then you have to times it by 3. Because that is what they want to give. And they reduce the number so that they not to create tension. So those are the issues. We thank the ecumenical communities, the AACC in 2011, they accompanied us during our general elections. And also the World Council of Churches, with their presence in 2012 to 2012, they supported the formation of an interfaith center, which is even existing today. And that interfaith center has been doing a lot of work. And to crown it up, in one of the findings of our interfaith center going around the countries, the crisis situation, they reported to us thus that they have discovered some government don't want the crisis to end. Some security apparatus don't want the crisis to end because of the benefits. Because when you talk of Borno State, that is where Boko Haram, started. The lot of money being pumped in by the international community. Just go there and see the situation of the IDPs. Nothing is done. So this money is being siphoned. Today we have over 2 million IDPs in Nigeria. And they have been increasing day in, day out with the continued and crisis that is attack, I can say, that is still happening. So we need your prayers. We need your continuous support. We will not relent on our effort. We have a lot of interfaith initiatives that is working toward peace. Last week, somebody asked me, all this noise we are making, what is changing? Nothing is changing. I said, what do you think this situation would be if nobody is saying anything? At least for the fact that we are coming together is a positive result. For the fact that we can sit together, despite the crisis, is positive. So we still believe that with God and with your help, and we still push it to AU, to AS, that is to AU, to the international community, mount pressure in our government. And for the 2019 elections, please pressurize this government to accept the verdict of the people. I remember the Sultan of Sokoto last week said, we want you as the president to be prepared to accept the people's verdict. He said, if Jonathan had not accepted the verdict in 2015, we wouldn't have been where we are. So if Jonathan did that, the same thing Abdul Salam mentioned, the same thing Gowon mentioned to the sitting president. So we would pray and ask for the international government, please, and community, mount pressure. Let him be willing, because there are many people that are behind him, wouldn't want him to let go of the power. But with your help, we're doing our own part. But we need you to support us, so that at the end of the elections, if they elect him, fine. If they don't elect him, fine. God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Wushishi, for the report sharing about Nigeria. Now, at South Sudan,